Okay, we are going live now. Pooja ma'am, you can start within 30 seconds.
Okay, thank you.
My apologies for the delay.
So Pradeep, how was Pradeep's session? It went on?
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to this another graphic design series with Mr. Sathish Narayanan. So he's right here with me. And today we are going to talk about generic marking and basic selection process with our very own world skills expert, Mr. Sathish Narayanan ji. He has been an expert for India at World Skills since 2013. Yes, almost 8 years for graphic design technology. The founder of Design Media School and co-founder and CEO of Nectar Pixel Studio. He represented India for World Skills Olympics 2019, Kazan, Russia, and got the bronze medal with Shweta Ratanpura. World Skills Olympics 2015, Brazil, Medallion of Excellence he's got. 2013 Germany, Medallion of Excellence and Best of the Nation, and several other competitions, including 2012 Asian Skills in Indonesia as an observer, 2014 Oceania, New Zealand, 2018 Budapest, Hungary, 2018 Asia Skills Abu Dhabi, and in 2018 Australia Global. There's a huge list, and there are a lot of things that I can keep talking about Satish sir. He's been so generous and so kind, and even after this technical glitch for a couple of minutes, he's been so patient with everything. Thank you so much, Satish sir. You've always been very, very kind.
Thank you, Pooja. Thanks a lot. Really looking forward to have this interactive session. Let's see.
Yes, sir. So you have the screen sharing right, sir. Please, the session is all over to you.
Okay, yeah. So very good morning to all of you. And I'm sure like a lot of you might be waiting for a very long time. So unfortunately, the whole World Skills was delayed for 1 year because of this pandemic situation. I hope and pray all of you and your home, everybody should be safe and healthy. And so continue with today's session. And just to give you a small brief about the graphic designs, I'm sure like you might be attending a lot of session. And I must say that even though it is delayed for a year, and it's an advantage for you, because when we did 2018 India Skills and 2019 World Skills, the candidates did not have a lot of opportunities like this conducting online session. Because of this delay this year, so you are getting plenty of online sessions and guidance. And I must say this should actually help us in getting the right kind of a candidate, and highly skilled candidate, and so that whatever the performances that which we have been putting in together since 2013, so year after year we are improving, and we really wanted to push our limits and then aim for always our aim is to go for the gold only. So even last year also we just missed it, the gold we just missed it, we got the bronze, but we will never give up. We will again try, we will get the right kind of a candidate, and probably will train them to win the gold medal. Coming back to this graphic design skills, there are every year, it's unlike any other skills. Many skills has one particular task which is performed on all 4 days actually. So usually this graphic design, not only graphic design, World Skills pattern is like 20 to 22 hours of a test projects will be executed in a span of 4 days actually. So you may be having 6 hours per day into 3 days, 18 hours, and then after that you will have another 4 hours on the last day. The last day task will be always little lesser task, 4 hours task will be there, or sometimes you will have 5 hours task, like that. So that's the way this World Skills format is all about. Similarly for the graphic design also, 4 days, but all 4 days you will not have one test project actually. Every day you have different test projects. So for example, maybe first day you might be having corporate identity design. So you may have to design the entire branding of a company. When I say branding, that it starts with logo designing, and then stationery designs, business card, letterhead, and all those things, and then probably a ticket for some event or something like that. So that would be your task actually. So you need to perform that task. You will be given a question paper, and some of the relevant images also will be provided to you. So the best part of this World Skills International is that you will not have access to the internet actually. So you are not supposed to do any research on internet. Neither your phone is allowed actually. So even experts role, they should be training just before the World Skills, before day of the World Skills. So during the 4 days of a competition, so there is nothing to do with your expert and as well as the candidate. So you will be all alone, you will be performing. But during the lunchtime, the experts can speak, and after that first day competition also, you can generally chat. So that's the only time you will get to chat with your expert. Otherwise, it has to be like on your own. You need to do the whole task. So all the training back in India, you might have 1 year of training, but on the day 4 days of competition, it is completely how your mindset is, how you need to prepare yourself. That's the way this whole competition has been faced. And then the second day, it is more of an editorial, it must be. So they will give you a 8-page or 12-page booklet where you have to design the entire booklet, and you have to take a printout of the booklet and create a mock-up and keep it on the table. This has to be done in 6 hours actually. And the third day, it is pretty much more of a packaging design. So you may be given some maybe a tea packet, small or a perfume bottle actually. So they'll give you a bottle. You yourself have to measure the bottle, and you will have to create a 3D mock-up and create a die line, and then do the design part of it, take a printout and do a mock-up. You need to produce a finished product and keep it on the table actually for the juries to evaluate. And the fourth day is more of an advertising design. So that is what it is. Advertising design, it may be a social media design, or probably like a poster, danglers, or these are the kind of different kind of designs would be. So this is the brief of like what exactly you will be doing. So when it comes to marking, so I don't know, are you all able to see my screen? Can anybody say yes or no? Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great, fine, yeah. So now you see this graphic design technology. This is like corporate identity design. So what you see here, so this is called as judgmental marking. So the judgmental markings are purely based on these criteria actually. So there are sub criteria are there. I will go into that little later. Just I'm first taking you through the overall broad marking perspective of it actually. Like for example, marking components are idea and originality. So in corporate identity, probably they'll give you a brief about the company where you have to design a logo for that company. So that idea and originality, that logo should not look like there is a similar logo available on the internet or that different company. So this guy has just modified that. So then you will lose mark actually. It has to be completely idea and originality. But whereas in real time, when you do logo designing, you might get a chance to explain how you have done the design. But here you will not get that opportunity to explain how you have done the design, because once after the competition, the juries will start marking actually. But looking at the logo which you have designed, the juries have to understand, okay, the thought process have gone into, this is how he has prepared this particular logo. All that should be visible, and it should be really original, and the idea has to be really good, very simplified kind of thing. Then the second criteria is more of an understanding the target market. Probably you might be doing a logo for a company which is into food products actually. So who are the target audience? Your consumers are the target audience. When I say food products, sometimes that food products might have limited target audience. Probably if you are getting into ice cream, designing a logo for an ice cream, so the ice cream more, the target audience would be more in between, like the kids, maybe 12 years to 25 years kind of a thing actually. So okay, so if any other pickles or something like that, if you are doing, so the target audience might be maybe 25 to 40, 40, 50 like that. So it depends on what is the kind of target market which you are designing this logos for. Accordingly, you have to produce the design and the quality of typography, and whatever the typography which you are using it for your design, corporate identity design, the quality of typography, there is a meaning to when we do the training part of it, you will understand actually. So every font used and every types used actually, there is a meaning to it, and And there is certain thumb rules are there, like why for these kind of food products, what is the kind of typography you'll have to use. Some maybe like events, what is the kind of a typography which you have to use. So these are the kind of basic during the training you will understand all these aspects. There is a marks for that as well actually. And quality of colors for all the tasks which you have used, like you may be given corporate identity design, you'll have to come up with logo, you have to come up with business card, letterhead, then entrance ticket or something like that, then probably maybe an infographic kind of a thing. So all this on the whole, what is the colors which you are used, which is appropriate for the design. So that is another mark. And unity and relationship between all the tasks. So it should not look like the business card is totally a different design, and then logos doesn't have any meaning to business card, and lettered is also differently designed. So it should not be like that. There is a good unity and relationship between all the tasks should be there. So there's a criteria and you get marks specifically for that. And creativity of the information design. So supposing if you are given an infographic design, so if you're doing information design, that needs to be very simplified, and the audience have to understand, the customer has to understand the information design which you have done. And then communication effectiveness overall, after reading the test projects, when you're designing this whole project aspects, then the communication has to be really effective. So those who are actually looking at those designs, they should understand the background of the company. They should understand what you're trying to say, who are the target audience, all these things. When I say communication, it's not about English, it's not about the text which you have put, because all the text will be given to you, but this is about the overall communication thing. So, and the quality of visual composition. So when I say visual composition, so overall visual I'm sure like most of you must be designer, I don't have to explain much about this visual composition. So then apart, these are the software which you will be doing, working on Photoshop, Illustrator or something like that. Then there comes quality of mounting and presentation. When I say quality of mounting and presentation, whatever designs which you are doing, whether it may be a business card, letterhead, or maybe tickets or whatever it is, after taking a printout, you need to cut it and nicely present it. So those who are working for ad agency, probably you might know. So you need to present your artworks to the client actually. So similarly here also, you have to do a mounting and presentation, and there is a marks for that, how neatly you have done. And the quality of mock-up actually. So apart from mounting, you also have to submit a mock-ups actually. If it is business card front and back printed, while you are designing, you might not be designing like a front and back. You need to take the printout in front and back. So you need to have proper registrations, and then you will be given thick sheet actually. So you'll have to take a printout in the thick sheet and then cut the visiting card. That single visiting card, they should be able to see front and back. The registration needs to be properly done, all these things. Then sustainability of the suitability of the color choices. So whatever the target audience, whatever the product actually which you are doing, so is these colors which you have chosen are suitable or not? That is very much important. And adaptability of the logo from PMS to CMYK and grayscale and black and white. So when you do a design, logo design, so it should be easily adaptable when you convert it into grayscale, when you are putting it on the reverse actually. So like on a dark background also it should look good, on a light background also it should good. Lot of aspects are there, so they will look at it how your design, whether it is adaptable or not actually. So again, various color formats are there. PMS is like a process colors actually, and then spot color is there, CMYK color is there. So they in the test project they will specify you need to submit a PMS, so you need to accordingly conduct the PMS. Pantone PMS is Pantone color choices actually basically. Okay, so then quality of illustration. So for example, if you have been asked to do some infographics, there will be some elements you need to do some illustrations. That illustrations needs to be properly done. Then practicality of the information design. So when they've given the information design, so it is in the text form which you are converting it into the visual forms. So when the information design, while looking at the visuals itself, people should be able to understand what exactly you are trying to communicate. They don't literally have to read the text actually. So that is the power of information design. So they will look at it, can it be easily interpreted kind. So these are some of the judgmental criteria which they do mark actually. Similarly, if I go through this editorial design, here you see editorial design. Again, the idea and originality comes into picture, understanding of target market, quality of typography, quality of the color, all task, unity and relationship. These are explained, I have already explained. creativity of the information design. Even in editorial design also, probably you may have to do the info. Then visual impact and communication effectiveness. How you have done the layout overall. So how you have done the cover page actually. So then the last page, and then inner layouts, how you have done. So creativity of the information design, quality of mounting and presentation, all tasks. So even in this editorial design, you will be asked to submit the individual sheets also, and as well as mock-up also. Both you have to do it. Okay. In respects of the corporate guidelines, so whatever the guideline given, probably like in the test projects itself, when you do the editorial part, so there may be some instructions actually. The page number should be specified actually. So then slug should be there. So all those kind of a corporate guidelines given, whether you have followed it or not, that they will look at it actually. And practicality of the information design can be easily interpreted, similar kind of a judgmental marking. So then comes the judgmental marking for packaging design. Packaging design, again, everywhere, all 4 days, the overall idea and originality is actually given. It's the main criteria which they really look at it. But understanding of the target markets and the quality of typography, quality of colors, all these aspects are mentioned. And then creativity of the information design, creativity of vector objects actually. So for example, in the packaging design, sometimes when you're doing a perfume, you're designing a packaging for a perfume, so probably you might have to do some floral design or some background graphics you may be doing actually. So they will look at the quality of that particular illustrations which you have done. So that is very much important. And again, or the image, if the photographs is given to you to actually put it on the thing, so how you have used that image manipulations, whether you have done nicely, whether it is blending with the packaging. So that is the kind of a quality which they look at it. And overall visual composition and aesthetic appeal and the balance of the packaging, and functionality and usability of the package shape. For example, is whether it is user friendly. So when you're designing a packaging, so whether is it easily you can unfold it and probably like open the box easily and take the bottle from inside, or if it is a tea package, actually they will give you some restriction saying that the tea should be visible from outside. So they will give you some die line where you can actually cut and create a window, and that window will be closed in a transparent sheet actually. So these are some technical specifications which you would be given in the test projects, which you need to follow, and accordingly you'll have to do the complete design part of it. So then comes the advertising design. Advertising design, again, idea originality, understanding the target markets and quality of the typography, quality of colors, unity and relationship, effectiveness and creativity of the image manipulations. For example, like I've said, along with the test projects, you'll be given enough of images which you can use actually. And sometimes in the question paper, they'll tell you minimum 2 images should be used from the given images. So they might have given 50 images, but from that 50 images, you should use minimum 2 images. So the same 50 images is given to all the 40 candidates, but who is using what kind of an image, whether there is a relevancy into it, and then whether they have chosen the right kind of image which has good quality and as well as good lighting and good meaning to it. So these are the aspects which will go into the subjective marking actually. Quality of image manipulation, that is retouching, masking, cloning, all these things can. And quality of mounting and presentation, again, whatever the advertisement design which you are doing, so you need to take a loose printout also, and as well as you'll have to do a mounting as well. Quality of mock-up set. Okay, so these are the subjective markings for 4 days which I was talking about. Actually, these are the kind of mark. Under this, there are criteria. I'll tell you, these subjective markings are there is 4 criteria: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3 actually. So I'll take you through that detailed one in my next presentation. Now I'll finish this measurement marking. So the measurement marking is more technical actually. So what happens in India, not only in India, across the globe, the designers are more inclined towards the aesthetic look and the artistic aspects of it. But most of the designers don't have the awareness of the technical aspects, because whatever the design which they are doing, so they are really not aware whether it is going to be printed on a polythene paper, or whether normal paper or a coated paper, or these are different things. So when you do designs for various materials, the output needs to be accordingly saved. Actually, the PDF output, PDFX output needs to be accordingly saved actually. So that is the biggest aspect. There are so many PDFX are there. So then that when you do the when you give it for the printing, usually what happens in the printing industry, they have a person who actually converts all our artworks into all the printing related issues. Like they do it in pre-flight, and they actually like change our artwork. Sometimes when they change, the complete color goes for a toss actually. So we might not the final print might not look like what we have designed it on the software actually. So that is because the technical aspects you have not given them properly. Unless the person sitting in the printer side, if he is aware of what kind of a final output to be given a print command, so then he will take care. If he doesn't know, then he will print as it is whatever you have given. Then the print color might look totally different. So for example, in corporate identity, it is not only the measurement mark is not only for the technical aspects, it is also given for the work organization. When I say work organization, if you have really worked in corporate world, whether it is animation, visual effects, or maybe graphic designing, so when you do projects, the naming of file is very, very important, because it's all like when you do international projects, it's on the cloud. So the naming of files are very, very important. Even if you miss one small characters or something like that, so it affects the production. That's why the final production folder saved as required in the task. So correct naming specified in all tasks. So in the question paper itself, they will specify what should be the file name, what should be the folder name, what should be the master folder name. So you should not miss out that. Even if they are saying like if it is like first letter is capital, okay, folder names first letter is capital and the rest of the things are capital small, you need to follow that. First number has to be capital actually. So if you put all small, then you will lose zero. You will get 0 marks only. So these measurement marking, either you score full marks or you score 0. Yes or no, it is basically. If it is yes, you score full marks. If it is no, then you score 0 marks. That's the kind of a thing. So here you have good chance of scoring 100%. So the advantage of graphic designing is 50% is judgmental and 50% is measurement actually. So these 50% measurement marks, it's easier to get if you nail it actually. Okay. So all files saved in the correct format specified in all tasks, all required elements supplied specific task, all required text is present in the task. Like for example, for business card or maybe advertising or packaging or maybe editorial, the entire text will be given to you. So for example, if it is 12-page editorial book design which you are doing, so they will specify page number 3, this is the text should be. Page number 4, this is the text should be. So you need to follow, you need to put all the text. Even one character missing from the text, you will lose marks. It will be 0 actually. So they will read out. They will also put, there is as a jury members, what we are supposed to do is we have to read out actually. Then the another jury will look at your mock-up actually. So whether all the texts are visible or not. So that's how they check actually. And then table and map created with all information including. So for example, if in the editorial or corporate identity design, so if they have given some aspects of actually doing a table design or maybe a map, so all the informations are available or not. Pictorial created with all informations included. So whatever the information which we have given, whether it is given or not. For example, in the text form, we may have given the question paper says like point number 1, so and so, point number 2, so and so, point number 3, so and so. So the same you need to follow. You need to put 1, 2, 3 there. So for design aspects, if you remove the 1 and you just put bulleted point, you will lose mark. So that much focus should be given while designing the tasks actually. Again, all colors and fonts breakdown specify, and spot and CMYK color used in the design. So when you say, when the question paper says one set of logo should be submitted with spot color, one set of logo should be submitted with CMYK, means you have to submit 2 artworks. So they will check whether you have submitted spot color or not. If you have not submitted spot color, you lose 0 marks there. That's what. Bleed value applied and layout actually. So when you do, what happens when you do packaging and all those things? So there is a die line. Beyond the die line, they will give you bleed value of 2 mm, 3 mm like that. So they will check whether it is 2 mm. If it is given 2 mm, you need to do 2 mm. If it is given 3 mm, you need to do 3 mm. So that much specification they will check actually. So if you have not given bleed value, then you are gone. Trapping value applied in the file specific task actually. So overprint is more for the varnish. So when you put actually, like for example, sometimes when you do a perfume kind of box design, so they will ask you to put some laminations for only the floral design which you have done. So that needs to be a spot laminated kind. So that is, you need to give specific in this PDF actually. Then ICC profile. So every artwork which you are doing, there is an ICC profile. This ICC profile is nothing but calibrating, how we are calibrating our monitor. Similarly, they will calibrate the printer actually. So then once they calibrate the printer, they give one profile. So then that profile is sent to you. You as a designer, while doing the artwork, you need to import that profile in Photoshop, and as well as while you are doing the artwork, you need to apply that ICC profile in that artwork. Then you work and then save file and give it to the printer actually. So this is again, it's a too technical. Even though if you are a great artist, you might have having around 5 to 6 years of experience in ad agency also. Nobody knows these kind of technical aspects actually. These needs to be taught. And print out logo and trimmed printouts as per the specific things, marks applied as per the task. So mounted as per specific, even mounting, if it is little bit of cross or something like that, you don't score marks actually. So these are technical aspects. Similarly, editorial design. So correct program used as specified in the task. Resolution of the linked image as specified in the task. For example, editorial, mostly you will be doing it in InDesign. So InDesign, you cannot directly embed the image. You just have to import the image and you'll have to link all the images. What happens, because in future, if you want to really, like if you're doing a 200-page book design, the customer will say, I don't, this particular page number 23, I don't want this particular image. You remove that. So if you embed it, then it is going to be very difficult. That's why they linked actually. So when it is linked, you just have to go inside the folder, and whichever image he said he doesn't want, you delete that image and then replace the image which he wanted and name the same thing. So it will show there. You don't have to really work in InDesign actually. So that's the advantage of linking images. So which is again, it's a two technical aspects which they will think whether you understood this or not, or are you able to do it. And use the style sheet of the master element and layout. Style sheet, when I say there is a paragraph style sheets are there, so subheadings, headings. So you need to put those style sheets actually. Those who have done InDesign, they know much about this. And all required text element is present or not. Infographics with all the required text elements. And image of elements dimensions as specified in the task. For example, they will ask you to use an image. Sometimes if it is going in for online PDF, not going to print, means online PDF, they will ask you to do 72 dpi resolution of all the images, because the file size needs to be smaller. When they convert it into PDF, whole file size should be smaller because it's for the web actually. But if it is for printing, they will ask you to keep minimum of 280 to 300 dpi images. Only then the print quality will look like. So in an editorial, you may be using 200 images. So all 200 images has to be in line with whatever the technical specification given. If it is not there, even one single image, if it is beyond 300 dpi, if it is 301 dpi, you will lose the entire mark actually. So that's the kind of a checking they do. Color mode of the link images and spot color and CMYK used in the layout actually. Supply of printouts, assemble in 3D package. So this is, if it is like, when we say 3D package, it's the mockup, actual mockup. They are talking actual mockup of the book. You need to take a printout of the book and then prepare it like a either staple or maybe sapling. They say that the stitching kind. So that process they will ask you to do that. So the bleed value applied, again, I'll explain you what are these bleed value, trapping value in InDesign. So because I'm sure like most of you might have been first time you might be hearing these terminologies. I have prepared a glossaries of these so that you will be able to see those things actually. And again, overprint applied as an industry standards, and all files saved is in the correct format or not. So saving of files, that includes when you're doing a book design. So maybe like I've said, the images given to you to put it on each and every pages, they will also tell you to rename that images. Probably that those images might have been downloaded from the internet, but you need to rename it and include that in the InDesign format. So each and every image needs to be renamed actually. So whatever the naming given, so they will check whether you've renamed it or not. If you have not renamed it, probably you will lose marks actually. Here also similarly, the ICC profile, because it's whatever print related ICC profile is very, very important. And then in the there is one very important aspect is there in world skills actually. So they will try to disturb you as much as possible so that you get shackled and then you don't perform well. So this is one speed test. What happens out of these 4 days? You may be doing some corporate identity design for the first day, maybe second day editorial design, third day packaging design. 6 hours task is given. You might have thought, okay, I have 6 hours time, so I will take my own time and finish this in nice aspects. Suddenly they will give you one speed test actually. They will ask you to stop whatever you are doing, whether it is editorial second day or third day or first day, whatever it is. They will tell you to stop and they will give you the speed test. The speed test would be for 45 minutes actually. 45 minutes to maximum 1 hour. The speed test would be totally different from what you are doing. So for example, if you are doing a packaging design, this speed test may not be irrelevant to the packaging. This would be totally different. Okay, so as a designer, you might have something in your mind while you're designing the packaging actually. Suddenly, if somebody gives another task, you will go mad. So in world skills, they do that also, because it becomes very, very competitive. Everybody performs well. So how do they actually? These are the kind of methodology which they have come up with. And these speed test, it's more of a finding fault kind, and it's more of a technical aspects actually. So they will give you, and this has certain marks to it. And then packaging design. Packaging design, apart from the all the regular ones, they will look at it, the packaging assembled in 3D, whether it is stable, because they will give you a thick sheet where you have to create a mock-up, nicely crease it, and it should look like a new manufactured box, like as if like you brought it from a shop. It should look like that. There should not be any problems in the 3D mock-up actually. So it needs to be neat and clean put. And final production folder saved and named as required in the alt task. Supply of printouts, that loose printouts there. And then final dimensions of the packaging design as specified. Spot color and CMYK color used in the layout in Illustrator file as specified. Saving in a specified AI PDF format actually. So resolution of linked embedded images, final dimension of packaging. So these are the different all required text is present or not, all required elements when we say the images and all those things, is it present or not. Naming of die line, because that you need to, in PDF, while you are saving the PDF, the base artwork you need to give it in one layer, and the die line you need to give it in another layer. So die line needs to be properly named actually. The clear windows is supplied or not. So these are kind of a different trimmed printouts for the packaging design, supply of printouts of packaging design, dimension of barcodes for the packaging design, fold line, registration mark supplied for the packaging, ICC profile, ink density. So that is also very much important. So they will look at it. Ink density is also there in design, where you need to actually set your ink. Otherwise, what happens at a printing level, when somebody is printing 1 lakh brochure, if you don't control the ink density, the consumption of the ink can go higher actually. That will increase the cost of the printing. Apart from that, there may be, if it is the ink flow is more, the printer gets some kind of a bleeding, and then it can spoil your print also. That's why there is a process to control the ink density also, which you need to understand kind. So trimmed sticker and booklets. So these are some of the technical aspects which you do it. And then advertising design, if you see correct programmed used as a specific task, resolution of linked images, So mostly it's more repetitive, but right now whatever I've shown you, you can see approximately around 250 to 300 criteria to score 100 marks. These 100 marks are divided in 4 days. Probably first day 25 marks, second day 25 marks, third day 24 marks, and fourth day maybe like 26 marks. In the 26 marks, there will be a separate 8 marks for the speed test actually. Like this 100 marks, for that you have around 250 to 300 criteria where you have to score the marks actually. So this is what it is like. Overall, I have given you a picture of how each and every day the marking system happens. I'm sure like you got pretty much of idea what I've explained you so far. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. We will discuss about it, and then I'll go to the next presentation. So Pooja, are we allowed to have a discussion kind, or somebody's putting it on chat and they can ask the question?
Yes, sir. There are questions that I can see. One
Okay.
of them is what is the speed test?
Okay, so that's what I said, that speed test is sometimes what happens, they might have already created a small test project actually. Deliberately what they would have done, the test project, they might have done purposefully, they might have done so many mistakes, and then they will give you the printout also. So you need to identify what are the mistakes which they have done and what is the correct way of doing it. So what is the kind of profile, ICC profile? If I'm say like he might have deliberately given wrong ICC profile, you need to look at the file and say, no, this is not the thing. So this 45-minute speed test, it's more of finding faults actually. So this happens in the printing industry. The pre-flight, the pre-press person's job is to identify the faults and then rectify it. Similarly, they are introducing in the world skills. As a designer, you need to have a knowledge to identify the faults actually. So that is what they'll give you. That 45 minutes, they will give you one test project where you might have to identify 15 faults from that test project. So each 15 faults, you will have maybe 0.5 marks. The total marks is 7.5 marks. So that is the kind of a marking system which we'll have. So every criteria will have 0.5 marks. So you need to find those faults and correct it. Within 45 minutes, you'll have to finish. Again, go back to the regular task which has been given to you.
That's really difficult, sir.
Yes. It's the people go mad. There are a lot of people lose marks there because on that day they may be thinking about doing the packaging design. Suddenly, when somebody gives 45 minutes task, they totally get shattered, and then the day gets collapsed actually.
Right. So I have a question. Does typography means typing system or font selection?
Typography is font selection, basically selection of fonts, types,
And
type
okay.
fonts. Yeah.
And the size also, the font size that goes?
Yes, everything. So everything matters. So they will not give you the size specification. You'll have to use this much font only. It's up to the designer to think what font size will look good aesthetically actually.
Okay, great. Another question, like right now you're explaining about the World Skills competition. What kind of questions are coming for the India Skills and for the state level competitions? Is it going to be something different or the similar thing at a smaller scale?
So mostly what we are trying to do is we will restrict it to Photoshop and Illustrator for first 2 rounds. Because in the industry, there is large amount of students may not be aware of the InDesign aspects of it. When I say InDesign, so the editorial aspects and packaging design is done through InDesigns actually. So we will restrict it to Photoshop and Illustrator, maybe for the first 2 rounds. And third round, we will be including the InDesign aspects of it. And then fourth round, you will have as good as like World Skills kind of test projects. And that is India Skills actually. So we will definitely have a tough question papers there.
So it's a tough competition, and yes, when you get the fruit out of it, that's really amazing, and that stays with you for life.
Correct.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, okay. So now I'll just share the marks with you. So you can see my screen. Can you
Yes,
see
sir.
my? Okay, fine. So this is what is like 2019 Kazan marks, but I'm sure everybody must be seeing. Like this is A, B, C, D, and E. This E is the speed test marks actually, and A is actually like first corporate identity design. B is editorial design, and C is actually like packaging design, and D is advertising design, and then E is speed test. So first days out of 27, what is the marks scored by? So this is out of 100 marks. This is the total out of 100. Out of 100, the highest mark is Chinese Taipei, 73.87, and that is, it is blown up to 700 scale actually, 750 scale. So 800 scale. So this is the 700 scale marks. But you have to look at this one actually. Okay, first day out of 27, the Chinese Taipei scored 18, and then 17, 19, and 13. So you see India third. So 70.56. It means Sweta Ratanpura lost gold medal in 2.8, approximately around 2.8 marks. She lost gold medal actually. So that is the kind of a tough competition which it is actually. If you see like first day, almost she's the highest scorer. First day, if you see, the Austria guy has scored 19.98, but second highest is Sweta actually. So every day we will come to know the marks. So it is, as an expert, I cannot share this with the competitor because she will get panic actually. At the same time, I have to keep it myself. Probably I have to change the strategy next day. So each day's marks, how much she is scoring, where she stands actually. So I may change my strategy. I may give her some inputs like that. That's the way we look. Like fourth day, if you see, almost everybody scored 17. 17.44, 17.44, and then 17.43, 17.26 actually. She just lost only 20 marks, not even 20, 18.18 is the one she lost actually, 0.18. Third day, again, she has lost some mark. Fourth day, she's in the second. And the speed test also, she lost some marks there actually. So this is out of, you can see total here it is only 18. Yeah, so 100 skill marks. This is actually Korea, Switzerland, South Korea. There are second page is missing. There are 39 candidates were there. Just took only the page actually, because Sweta's name is there. So this is how the competition is that much tough. Even if you score above, whomever scores above 700, you still get medallion of excellence. So many people have got medallion of excellence. This is also a good performance. It's not that it is very bad actually. So this many people have got medallion of excellence. So if 36 candidates, 37 candidates are there in graphic design. So every skills, you can count almost 50% of the people will get medallion of excellence. So here in our skills, 37 candidates, out of which 18 are getting medallions actually. So you still have a chance. If you're putting up a good show, probably you will get medallion also. But if you're really working very hard, you have chances of getting gold as well. Okay. Now I will take you through. So now you can see my screen. There is a graphic design glossary.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So this is, I just put certain things so that it's easier for you to understand. So that when we say trapping, what is trapping is basically, you can see these. So in the bottom one, can you see this? You can see one white line. This is also wrong. This one in the circle, there is an overlap here. This is also wrong. So when they give trapping, it needs to be like this. There should not be overlap also. There should not be wide gap also. So that while designing, you need to take care of these kind of things, because you may be doing with multiple colors, like spot colors. When you do logo designing, the color should not overlap like this, and color should not have a gap like this. It should have proper registrations kind. So this is called as trapping. See, if it is, they are giving like, there is a leverage where 0.3 in. So they will give you some, I would say like what you call it as, you have liberty of doing it up to 0.03. If it goes beyond this, you will lose mark. So that is in the question paper itself, they'll give you 0.03 trapping is acceptable actually. So they will check, they will zoom and they will check whether you have gone beyond that, because you cannot do accurate things. So that's the reason they are giving such kind of a thing. And this is bleed. When we say bleed, this is bleed. You can see this is the actual registration mark. The color goes beyond the registration mark. This is like 3 mm bleed. When they say this is bleed, so it should have bleed. If you are giving it something like this, then you lose mark. If there is no bleed, they will lose mark. When you are doing a design, so all the packaging design and the editorial design, they will ask you to give bleed. Even the poster designing, advertising, when you do A3 size poster design, they will ask you to give 3 mm bleed. Why? Because if it goes inside the press, they will cut all 4 sides actually. So this is the blue line is the registration mark where they will cut. So the bleed inks will go, that portion will be wasted only, but still you need to give a bleed. Because what happens when you do it something like this on the left side, if the registration, if the cutting machine takes 1 mm liberty also, you will see a white line there. That's the reason they are asking you to do this bleed kind. Okay, so this is what is how it checked actually. So we zoom it, we exactly measure whether it is 3 mm bleed or not. And then overprint actually. When we say overprint, the left side, you see the color, the blue color is printed on top of the yellow color. When it happens, sometimes the color might change. It will change to green. The blue and yellow mixed together will give you a green color actually. So when they say in the artwork, when they say you have to do overprint, so your artwork, you need to subtract that area. This yellow area should not be there in that A text areas actually. Okay, so that should be white. Only then, when, because it's a multicolor cylinder CMYK, when it prints the other colors there, that particular portion has to be white. Only then when they print blue, it will look like blue. Otherwise, it is going to be a mixed color. The artwork original color would be yellow and blue, but if you have not given overprint, then while it is printing, it will look like yellow and green actually, because it is printed on top of the yellow actually. So this also you need to, so you need to read the question paper. If they are saying overprint, you need to accordingly do it. If it is not said overprint, then you have to leave it. You have to do it in the left side kind of thing. How do we check? These are some technical aspects. We check this in PDF only. In the PDF, you can check whether overprint is there. Each and every color, if you switch off, will come to know. Now you see this, the left side, the A area is white area. If it is not overprinted, so that is, this is wrong actually. If it is overprint, means you need to print on top of the yellow kind. So this is the right kind of a decision kind. So this is die line. So when you create die line, so there are 2 aspects. One, the continuous line represents cutting, and the dotted line represents the fold line actually. And these, the cross lines are there. This is the glue areas, so which you have to really look upon actually. So these are the kind of things which you need to look at it. These are some technical aspects. While designing, you have to do it. So during the training, you will understand all the aspects. So this also we can check whether your die line is overprinted or not. You can see this die line and every color, whether you have done CMYK or spot. In the question paper, they might be given you CMYK and 1 spot color. For example, this T, pink T is there. The T can be, lettering can be a spot color actually. So here in the PDF, we can check. When we uncheck these things, every color will disappear. Then we can check whether you have done properly or not actually. And then the die line has to be overprinted. So the total area coverage, ink coverage is there here. So all the things can be checked in the PDF itself. This is how we do it. And varnish, like I've said, varnish. So when there is some spot varnish needs to be done, so that spot varnish, you need to give it as a separate color. So sometimes they'll give you whether it is 30%, 50% or 100% varnish. So accordingly, you need to give it in separate layer. So this is how it will look like a black one, but after printed, it will look like it is varnished kind. But while you're giving the artwork, it should look like a dark black one. So this varnish also, how it is given actually, that particular that can be checked. Output preview, it can be checked in the preview itself in the technical aspects. I was talking about ICC profile. ICC stands for the International Color Consortium. So the ICC is a consortium of international manufacturers of programs for pre-press, formed to unify a color management system for all the software and platform. And an ICC profile is a color profile for describing color spaces. So these printers, they create the ICC profile using the printing machine, that multicolor offset machine, and that profile is given to the artist. So every artwork which you are doing, that the profile needs to be put in actually. So they give, you see there are two different profiles are there. Here is coated and uncoated. So you can see the slight color difference. The coated one looks vibrant, little brighter color, but uncoated one is like little saturated kind. So that is why there is even a minor difference can spoil the entire printing aspects of it. You need to follow the proper ICC profile given to you. So again, how it is checked actually, there is in the PDF itself, we can check whether the whatever the profile given to you, whether have you implemented that profile or not. And total ink, like I've said, so the ink percentage, the total ink applied is 100% cyan and 50% magenta, has a total ink of 150 actually. So we can check that in that PDF. So here you can see Japan coated, and then in the bottom, total area covered, you can see how much ink. So when we click this, you can see that that green area indicates these are the areas. It is beyond the limits given actually. So then your artwork is not qualified. You score 0. So these are some of the examples which I really wanted to show, so that you are aware, but there are plenty. You will get confused, because if you don't know all of these, you will get confused. During the training part, you will learn all these things, how you have to do it, how you have to control the ink, how you have to do the bleed lines, all these aspects actually. Okay. So any questions from this, whatever I've shown?
So one question is, if there is some issue with the printing, will that also be marked negative?
No, see, in WorldSkills, what happens, you might come up with some problem with the printer. Sometimes you might come up with the problem with your own computer as well. It might not be working. So the moment if there is a problem persist, either in your computer or printer, you immediately have to raise the card. You'll be given one card actually. So in that card, there are a lot of symbols are there. So you need to say there is a problem. So one of the experts will come to you, and there will be a log sheet kept next to you. They will immediately write that particular time, and then they will call the IT guy who can rectify the printer or your system, and how much hour time it takes. Maybe if it is 20 minutes or maybe half an hour, whatever the time it takes, that time, additional time will be given to you actually. And as per the WorldSkills rules, whatever the additional time given to you, only after you complete, we'll start the jury. Sometimes we end up giving 2 hours, 3 hours additional time for some of the people, because the computer might be giving so much of problem actually. So the actual competition gets over at 4 p.m. means if I have given additional 1.5 hour, so that one particular person only will sit and work till 5:30 p.m. And then after he or she completes, we'll start the jury. So usually our jury, we need to complete the jury on the same day. First day's task, we need to complete the jury on the same day. So usually our routine time would be, we might be going back to our hotel maybe in midnight 2 o'clock, or maybe next day early morning 3 o'clock or something like that. Then we have to again come back on the same day morning 8 a.m. because the competition starts actually. So during the WorldSkills, this is going to be our routine time. So we may be sleeping only for 3 hours or 4 hours. as an expert. But candidates, once they complete the competition, they can go home. They can probably go to the hotel and take rest. But we have to do jury, because while doing the jury, there may be a lot of discussion, there may be a lot of debates actually. So we may have to justify like whether what I have given mark is right or not. Sometimes we end up fighting also. So these all things happens actually. So that's why it takes time. So it goes up to maybe the next day morning 4 o'clock or like 2 o'clock or something like that.
Okay, so one more question. Will Photoshop and Illustrator will be included for other skills like printing when they are doing print media, and for industrial designing also?
For the industrial design, yes, there is a Photoshop is needed. Maybe initial conceptual presentation when you are making. It depends on like whether you want to do it in Photoshop or any other software. That doesn't matter. But printing, I don't think so. Printing, but PDF is there. Adobe PDF is there. So where you have to actually do the pre-flight, you need to understand the entire PDF technology. So as a printing skill expert.
Okay, sir. So I think almost all the questions are covered, and about this industrial design technology and print media technology, we have 2 sessions yet to be covered, and maybe you can ask the question with the industrial design technology expert as well.
Okay, I think we are running short of time, correct? So now the next session has to start.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So,
yeah,
yes,
I
sir.
just
Do you
thought actually, yeah, I have one sheet I wanted to show.
So,
So
you may continue, please.
yeah. So this one, like judgmental marking, I just wanted to explain how it happens. I'm sure you are able to see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is one of the marks of Sweta. You can see this particular criteria, logo matching. Okay, so this has 0.8 marks. Actually, it is allotted 0.8 marks. So like I've said, 0, 1, 2, and 3. There are 3 experts do the subjective marking. For example, EE, Estonia. So this is one country, JP is Japan, and NL is Netherlands. So these are the 3 experts marking Sweta for this logos matching kind. So the 0 says may not include same vector elements or not matched well. 1 means include same vector elements or matched sufficiently. 2 means include same vector elements are matched very well. 3 means include same vector elements, fonts are matched so that they are identical and very close. So these 2, first Estonia expert says no, as per her, include same vector elements or match sufficiently. It is okay. But the other 2, Japan and Netherlands, they have given 2, includes vector element or matched very well. So 2, 2. So they will total these 2 plus 2 plus 1, 5. So divided by 3. That is how the formula you get this particular 0.44 marks. It is basically, you can see she is awarded only 0.44 marks. Similarly, for the brochure, quality of mock-up actually. So mock-up means how she has actually cut, trimmed, and kept it on the table. The actual printout, how she has kept it on the table. So the 0 is poor quality, has not been cut very well, maybe messy, not centered, duplex, maybe upside down, not applied. 1 is acceptable, 2 is high standards, 3 is very high standards, very clean, cut well. So this Estonia, she is given 3. And Netherlands also is given 3. She has done a perfect job. And Japan says, okay, it is better. It could have been much better as per Japan. So out of 1.5 marks, Sweta scored 1.33. So these subjective marks are, it depends on, like, so even though sometimes the candidate might have done exceptional job, but still some of the experts, they might feel, okay, for as far as their knowledge is concerned, it could have been done much better. So the entire subjective marks goes like this. 3 experts will mark the subjectives and we will take the average marks out of it. But judgmental is just yes or no, actually. It is like that. I'll show you the judgmental. See here. These are all judgmental, yes or no. So for example, label color as specified. So 1.5 marks is it. So probably the label color, they might have specified it has to be CMYK. So when we checked, it is CMYK. She scores 1.5 marks, full marks. Package color as specified, full marks. Yes, no. If there is a problem, then we have to write here what is the problem. For example, you can see there is a criteria for packaging die line, folds on separate plate, dashed lines. If it is not dashed lines, if you put a continuous line, you would have lost mark. 0.5 points hona chahiye. Or dash also, it has to be 0.5 points. It should not be more than that actually. And cut on all the separate plate sole lines, glue on separate plate, spot dotted or separate lines. These are all separate layer it has to be. And then packaging layers, cut line, fold line, glue line, and separate layers it has to be. And label bleed 2.5 mm exactly it has to be. The variance and can be either it can be 2.45 or it can be 2.55. If it goes beyond 2.55 or if it goes below 2.45, she loses marks, 0 marks. So while we do the training in India, when she came to me just 10 months, like after winning the India skills, in India skills, we don't look at the technical aspects much because most of the candidate, they score 0 only because they are not aware absolutely. But my training starts more in these aspects because here you have an opportunity of scoring 100% marks. So we focus more on this. Sweta, out of 50 marks, she scored 48 marks in the objective marking actually. So only she lost 2 marks. Probably I don't know whether the 2 marks also must be visible here. You can see 1-0 here. So car wrapping. So there is an advertising design. There is a car sticker she has to do actually. ICC profile as specified. So ICC profile says it has to be an untagged RGB. She forgot to insert that ICC profile. So she lost that 0.5 marks. So this is the, like this 0.5 marks, 0.25 marks, she lost almost 2 marks. Otherwise, so that 2 marks is more like costed for the gold as well actually. So that's the kind of intensive marking it happens. Apart from that, even the subjective marking also, she said, like most of the international experts, they have given only 1. Probably they could have given 2 also. But they deliberately do these kind of stuffs to undermark so that they see actually if this candidate is really performing, if she's going to win a gold medal. These kind of things happens. But nevertheless, it happens for almost everybody. So everybody started doing kind of these kind of undermarking kind. But sometimes when the artwork is visibly exceptional, so then you can't undermark. That is the one good advantage actually. So you need to do your artwork exceptionally good. See, there are some people, Russia and all, they give 0 actually. It is actually not supposed to be 0 because she's really done very well. It has to be maybe 1 or 2 actually. If others have given 1, even if she would have, this Russians have given 1 also, Sweta would have scored that 1.85 marks and she would have been in the gold medal kind. So that's the kind of a thing. Okay. So this is what by and large about the marking. So I'm sure like you guys would have got some sort of an insight.
A lot of insights, sir. And I have Dhruv Bharadwaj is asking, can we have this PDF? Can we get these details shared in as a document?
PDF is just by sharing, you cannot do anything. These are all training materials actually. So once if you win India skills, so you will be trained on all these aspects. Don't worry about this.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, sir, for your time, and especially looking at Sunday morning. You have spent almost half of the day working, half of your Sunday working and supporting the candidates. So you get the best of the candidates coming to you for the world skills training.
Yes. I'm sure all the best to all of you, and prepare very well. And then don't take it lightly. It's a great opportunity. And so you imagine winning a gold medal for a country, what more you require actually. So like now Japan Olympic is going to start. The whole of India is praying that we should get some gold medal kind. Similarly, this is also an Olympics, skills Olympics. So winning a medal or medallion or gold medal is like really a pride for the country, and be prepared for it. And we are all there to guide you.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. So thank you so much, Sathish sir, for your time today. And it's always pleasure meeting you, meeting you. And hope we'll connect soon. And as the state level competitions have already started in few states and others are doing it just in coming weeks, you all please be prepared. Any questions you can send us on our social media handles. You have the WhatsApp. You also have our email address, worldskills@mescindia.org. So please feel free to send any questions over there.
Okay.
Yes, take care. Thank you, sir. We'll
Thank you.
now in 5 minutes, we'll be starting with the industrial design technology. So any questions related to industrial design technology, you can ask them from Mr. Rahul Nair. So see you there. And thank you so much, sir. Have a good Sunday.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.